Okay, we're going to cover how to do a dilution problem. That's where you have a really concentrated solution that you want to water down and make weaker. So that's what a dilution is. So dilutions is based on the concentration of your stock, M1, times the volume of the stock. So this is the stock solution that's stronger. Is equal to your diluted solution concentration. So that's weaker, times the volume of your final solution. So this is your diluted, weaker side after you added water. Okay, we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to say 1 for the last one, actually. Okay. For number 2, it says, if I add 100 milliliters of a 0.15 molar sodium hydroxide solution until the final volume is 150 milliliters, what will be the molarity of the diluted solution? Okay, so if we lay out all of our variables here, okay, the 100 milliliters, the 0.15 molar solution, that is going to be your stock solution. The reason why I know that is here they're asking for the molarity of the diluted solution, which is your M2. So this information, the 0.15 molar, is your stock solutions concentration, and you have 100 milliliters of that. So that's your volume of the stock. The final volume is 150 milliliters. So after you added water, you went from 100 to 150 milliliters. So we're going to pop this in the equation. M1, 0.15 molar times the V1, 100 milliliters, is equal to the new molarity, the weaker solution, times 150 milliliters. So you added some water. To get M2, we're going to divide both sides by 150. Okay, so your M2, your new concentration, we're going to we're going to multiply 0.15 times 100, enter, and then divide by 150. So you get 0.1 molar in sodium hydroxide. So to see if this makes sense, this molarity, the new diluted one, is weaker than 0.15. So that would be correct. All right, next one. How much 0.05 molar hydrochloric acid solution can be made by diluting a 250 milliliter 10 molar solution? So between 10 and 0.05, 10's bigger, so that's your M1. Okay, your M1 is going to be always bigger than your M2. Okay, so my M1 is 10 molar. The word of is tying this volume and that molarity together. So this 250 is for the 10 molar, so that must mean that's your V1. The new concentration, the weaker one, is 0.05, and we're going to figure out what your final volume is going to be. All right, so M1, 10 molar, times 250 milliliters equals your weaker 0.05 molar solution times your V2 that we don't know. Okay, so V2, if you divide both sides by 0.05, so 10 times 25, and then divided by 0.05, so you get your new volume to be 5,000 milliliters. To see if that makes sense, V2 should be bigger than V1 because the V2 is a result of adding water to your V1. So that would be correct. All right, last one, we're going to do number 1. Number 1, there's a little extra step to think about here. It says if I add 25 milliliters of water to 125 milliliters of a 0.15 molar sodium hydroxide solution, what will be the molarity of the diluted solution? Okay, so let's pick away at this. Oops, V1, M2, V2. All right, a couple things here. They are asking for the molarity of the diluted solution, which is your M2. So we're going to be solving for M2, which means this information must be your M1, V1 information. So your M1 would have to be 0.15 molar, and you have 125 of that 0.15 molar. So 125 milliliters will be your V1. So now we have to figure out what the V2 is. They didn't give us a V2, but they gave us a couple of clues here. They gave us the V1 and the amount of water you added to it. So your V2 is actually equal to the V1 plus water that you add to it to dilute it. So in this case, we have 125 milliliters plus 25 milliliters of water. So that gets us to 150 milliliters as your V2. So your V2 is 150 milliliters. So now we have all of our information, we can plug it in. So 0.15 molar V1 times 125 milliliters equals your M2 and the 150 milliliters. Okay, so to get M2, we're going to divide both sides by 150. So your M2, your new concentration of your diluted solution, that's going to be weaker. So we should hopefully get a smaller number than 0.15 right now. So 0.15 times 125 divided by 50, and we get 0.375. Let's see. Actually, hold on. I think I typed that wrong in my calculator. 0.15 times 125 divided by 150, you would get sorry about that, 0.125. And that is weaker. So I got a bigger number before, and I'm like, that can't be right. So this number ends up being smaller than the M1. So that is your answer. Okay.